It's very similar to a lithium-ion battery, which is the technology you'd find in an electric vehicle, in your phone and in your laptop. Operates through, instead of moving lithium ions, it moves sodium ions. If you see the periodic table, lithium is at the top left and sodium is one below it. What that means is sodium is heavier than lithium, it takes up more space, it's got a larger volume than lithium, but it's also significantly more abundant, so it's easier to find. Lithium-ion batteries are very well established. They have robust manufacturing techniques, and that's a possible upside or benefit for sodium-ion batteries. Manufacturing is relatively simple, but the issue with sodium-ion batteries, they have to take up much more space and much more weight to get the same energy. For the past 2 years or so, lithium-ion raw materials have increased in price considerably. Sodium-ion batteries have really taken a lot of interest over the last 2 years because they could offer a cheaper alternative, although they won't be able to compete on the performance side. So for your long-range electric vehicles, you will always need lithium-ion batteries, but for your short-range electric vehicles and maybe for stationary storage or grid storage, sodium-ion batteries could be a great technology. Sodium-ion batteries have been around as long as lithium-ion batteries. The idea behind them has always been there, but while lithium prices were very low, it never made sense to have a technology that isn't as powerful. It can't drive as far when the materials for lithium-ion batteries are readily available. It's difficult to make the case for it. But over the past couple of years, especially when raw materials have increased in price significantly, we're worried about the next 10 or 15 years. Will we have enough material to produce lithium-ion batteries? People began to consider sodium-ion batteries a more realistic new option. That's not to say that sodium-ion batteries will replace lithium-ion. They're two technologies that will work together and complement one another to help the energy transition. There have been commercial products previously, lots of bikes, small three-wheelers, and some stationary storage units made with sodium-ion batteries. This is very small compared to the lithium-ion battery market. When we talk about electric vehicles, when might we see a sodium-ion electric vehicle? I'd say the next 2 to 3 years, you could see them on the roads in China and in the rest of the world within the next 5 years. I wouldn't say that sodium-ion batteries are a threat to lithium-ion batteries. If you look at how battery capacity is projected to grow up to 2030, we're going to need almost a 10-fold increase in battery capacity. One of the only ways for that to happen is for lithium-ion batteries to continue to grow. What sodium-ion batteries will do is they'll support those lower performance use cases, low-range vehicles where cost is low, stationary storage, bicycles, anywhere that cost is a big driver, but the weight and the volume doesn't matter as much. They're a supporting technology that could see commercialization in the next 2 to 5 years. Smartphones are quite a compact, small technology, so it's going to be difficult to get the energy you need. It's difficult to see sodium-ion batteries replacing that because of the volume restrictions. There's a reason that the same chemistry has been used for smartphones since almost 1990. It's very well suited to that application, and it's lithium cobalt oxide. Sodium itself is extremely abundant in the earth. Just look at the sea and salt water, that's all sodium chloride. So the raw materials that are required to produce sodium-ion batteries are readily available. The weak point connected to that is that the supply chains or the production of these materials at the ultra high purity that's needed for batteries currently isn't really there. There isn't much production of the quality needed to produce those batteries today. That will take time for those chemical industries to scale up and to develop, but when they're developed, it should be very easy to source these materials and no sustainability worries looking out to 2030 or 2040. Another of the strong points was that these materials should be cheap. Naturally, some of the materials for the anode come from biomass or waste products. They're large industries that support them, that they should be cheap to purchase, but for the same issue, the supply chain is small, so even though they should be cheap, at the moment they're very expensive. The manufacturing technologies for lithium-ion batteries and sodium-ion batteries are very similar, which means to create a factory to do sodium-ion batteries should be very easy compared to a lot of other new technologies. So it should be an exchange of one for the other, very simple. These batteries are generally more stable to cycling, so where you might get 1,000 cycles for a lithium-ion battery, for a sodium-ion battery you'll get less energy per cycle, but you might get 4,000 cycles or 5,000 cycles, so a longer life, a longer duration of your battery. Sodium-ion batteries can deliver a good energy for low specification applications. They will struggle with your high performance electric vehicles, and they won't manage to get the same range per battery. So you have this balance really. The final weak point was that low lithium prices have made it difficult to compete on cost. Really, about a year ago, when sodium-ion interest was at its peak, lithium prices were also at their peak. Since January, we've seen just over a 60% drop in lithium prices, and that's made the argument for sodium-ion slightly more complicated. Whenever you develop a new technology, that technology needs time to optimize, needs time to improve and meet on cost. So if you have a lithium battery price, sodium-ion battery price, then it makes sense. If you have lithium-ion battery price, sodium-ion battery price, time is needed to develop the technology, and there isn't as big an incentive as there was 12 months ago. But lithium prices are very volatile. That could change in 6 months.